Natasha thought her family life was harmonious, but her mother-in-law's subtle sabotage left her puzzled and hurt. One evening, she discovered the shocking truth behind her ruined dishes, setting the stage for a dramatic confrontation she never saw coming. My name is Natasha, and I've been married to my husband Simon for 15 years. Simon and I met in college and have been inseparable ever since. We have a beautiful 13-year-old daughter named Eva, who is the light of our lives. She's smart, funny, and compassionate. Simon works as an architect, while I juggle freelance graphic design and being a full-time mom. Life in our cozy suburban home is mostly idyllic, except for one glaring issue: my mother-in-law, Donna. Donna is a force to be reckoned with. From the moment Simon introduced me to her, she made it clear that I wasn't the daughter-in-law she had envisioned. "Simon, darling, don't you think Natasha should spend more time learning traditional recipes? It's important for a wife to know these things," Donna would often say, her voice dripping with faux concern. Simon would always defend me. "Mom, Natasha is a fantastic cook and an amazing mother. We're happy with our lives." But her words stung. I'm not sure what she expected, but I'm fairly certain it wasn't a woman who preferred paintbrushes and Photoshop over traditional homemaking. One evening, she cornered me in the kitchen. "Natasha, dear, maybe you should consider taking a few cooking classes. It might help with all those accidents you keep having," she said with a smug smile. I forced a polite smile. "Thanks for the suggestion, Donna. I'll think about it." Every time we have guests over, my signature dishes somehow end up terrible. I'm known for my culinary skills, but whenever we entertain, my meals turn out too sour, too salty, or oddly sweet. I used to blame it on nerves and wanting too much to impress our guests, but I always found it odd. It was as if some culinary curse befell me each time. One night after a dinner party, I sighed heavily as I scrubbed a pot. Simon walked in, sensing my frustration. "You okay, honey?" "Simon, I don't get it. I followed the recipes perfectly, but everything turned out wrong again." "I feel like I'm losing my touch," I said, feeling defeated. He kissed my forehead. "You're an amazing cook, Natasha. Maybe it's just bad luck. Don't be too hard on yourself." But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I couldn't shake the feeling that it was more than just bad luck. One evening, everything clicked into place. It was Simon's birthday, and I was preparing my famous pasta for the celebration. Our living room was filled with the chatter and laughter of friends and family, with Eva darting around excitedly, ensuring everything was perfect for her dad. Simon was in his element, animatedly discussing some new project with his colleagues. Meanwhile, I was in the kitchen, savoring the comforting rhythm of cooking. "Mom, do you need any help?" Eva asked, poking her head into the kitchen. "No, sweetheart, I've got it. Just make sure your dad's having a good time," I replied with a smile, ruffling her hair. As I was stirring the sauce, my phone rang. It was an important call from a client, so I stepped out of the kitchen to take it. "I'll be right back," I called out to no one in particular, balancing my phone on my shoulder as I closed the kitchen door behind me. The call lasted barely a minute. But when I returned, I noticed the kitchen door was slightly ajar. Through the small crack, I saw Donna hunched over my pot, pouring something into the sauce. She quickly stashed a small container back into the cupboard. My heart sank as I realized what was happening. Donna was the one ruining my dishes to humiliate me. But instead of confronting her right then, I decided to handle it differently. "Eva, sweetie, can you come here for a second?" I called out to my daughter, motioning her to join me in the hallway. She looked curious but followed without hesitation. "What's up, Mom?" Eva asked, her eyes wide with interest. "I need you to help me with something, okay? But you have to promise to play along," I said, kneeling down to her level. Eva's eyebrows knit together in confusion. "What do you mean, play along?" I took a deep breath, debating how much to tell her. "I saw Grandma putting citric acid in the pasta. She's been sabotaging my cooking to make me look bad. I want to teach her a lesson." Eva's eyes widened further, and she gasped. "Grandma did that? But why? She doesn't think I'm good enough for your dad. But let's just say she's about to get a taste of her own medicine. Just follow my lead when we sit down to eat, okay?" Eva nodded with a mischievous glint in her eye. "Okay, Mom, I'm with you." We returned to the dining room where everyone was settling down. Simon was beaming, unaware of the drama unfolding behind the scenes. Donna sat across from me, her face a mask of false innocence. I smiled sweetly at her, the anticipation of what was about to happen making my heart race. As the first bites of pasta were served, I took mine and chewed slowly, savoring the moment. Eva was the first to speak. "Mom, the pasta's kind of sour," she said, her voice loud enough to catch everyone's attention. I gasped, clutching my throat dramatically. "Oh no," I choked out, making my eyes widen with feigned panic. "Call an ambulance." I let myself slump in my chair, pretending to lose consciousness. The room erupted into chaos. Simon was by my side in an instant, his face pale with fear. "Natasha, stay with me. Someone call 911, he shouted, his voice trembling. The guests were in a frenzy, pulling out their phones and trying to figure out what to do. Simon looked desperate, his eyes darting around for answers. What could have happened? Why did she start choking? Simon cried out, his voice breaking. Eva, playing her part perfectly, looked up with wide, innocent eyes. "Dad, the pasta had citric acid in it. Mom is allergic to it. But the question is, how did citric acid get into the pasta? Mom never adds it." All eyes turned to Donna. She was frozen, her face ashen. The realization of what she had done hit her like a freight train. She stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I didn't mean. I just wanted to." She trailed off, the weight of her actions sinking in. Simon's face twisted in anger. "You did this? You put citric acid in the pasta? Why would you do that?" Donna's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Simon. I thought I was teaching her a lesson. I never meant for this to happen." At that moment I decided it was time to end the act. I slowly regained consciousness, blinking as if I was coming out of a fog. "Natasha!" Simon exclaimed, relief flooding his voice. "Are you okay?" I sat up, rubbing my temples. "I think so. What happened?" Eva piped up, her voice a blend of innocence and triumph. "Grandma put citric acid in the pasta, Mom. She said she wanted to teach you a lesson." The room fell silent. Donna looked at me, her face crumpling with guilt. "I'm so sorry, Natasha. I never wanted it to go this far. I'm ashamed of what I did." I looked at her, feeling satisfaction and pity. "Donna, I've tried so hard to be a part of this family, but you've made it clear you don't want me here. What you did was dangerous and cruel. I think it's time we set some boundaries." Simon nodded, his face stern. "Mom, this is unacceptable. You need to apologize and understand that this behavior won't be tolerated." Donna's shoulders sagged as she nodded. "I understand. I'm truly sorry, Natasha. I'll do better, I promise." The guests slowly resumed their conversations, the tension easing as the drama settled. Simon held my hand tightly, his eyes filled with concern. "Are you really okay?" he asked softly. I nodded, squeezing his hand back. "I am now, thanks to Eva." Eva beamed, proud of her role in the evening's events. "We make a pretty good team, huh, Mom?" I smiled at her, my heart swelling with love. The best team. As the evening wound down and the guests began to leave, I couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. Donna had been exposed, and Simon and Eva stood by my side. It wasn't the birthday Simon had expected, but it was one we'd never forget. From that night on, things began to change. Donna made a genuine effort to be kinder and more supportive, and our family grew stronger. It wasn't a perfect resolution, but it was a start, and sometimes that's all you need. Enjoyed this story? Here's another one that you'll love even more. Grace and Simon's unique parenting approach sparked a clash with Simon's mother, Eleanor. When a seemingly innocent setup for their daughter's independence was sabotaged, the family's unity hung by a thread. How far would they go to defend their choices? This work is inspired by real events and people, but it has been fictionalized for creative purposes. Names, characters, and details have been changed to protect privacy and enhance the narrative. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and not intended by the author. The author and publisher make no claims to the accuracy of events or the portrayal of characters and are not liable for any misinterpretation. This story is provided as is, and any opinions expressed are those of the characters and do not reflect the views of the author or publisher.